Dear students, in this session I will discuss multimedia and animation. As you know, the system to deliver contents and functionality with the more than one kind of media is called multimedia system. So, we may again define it as that the characteristics of a multimedia system is the use of more than one kind of media to deliver content and functionality. Multimedia items generally fall into one of the 5 categories and use varied techniques for digital formatting. The various components by whose combination the multimedia applications are prepared. So, they are text, image, audio, video and animation. As you know that text is the one of the oldest mode for communication. So, in the age of multimedia, now we almost have forgotten to write to texting messages, rather we use images and expression with sound for messaging. The another component, that is image, I mean photographs, which are used in the multimedia applications for the purpose. Along with text and image, we also combine the sounds, which is known as audio. So, after mixing these three, the text becomes more attractive or more useful. So, the another one, that is video. So, along with the text, image or audio, by combining all these three, we prepare the videos. So, it is also the one of the component of multimedia applications. And in last but not least, the animated component are common within the multimedia applications, whereas the application is on the desktop or on the web. Animations can also include interactive effects, allowing users to engage with the animation actions using the mouse and keyboard. So, with the combination of all these 5, we prepare multimedia applications. Now, the infrastructure required to develop or even to display the applications. The number one, or we may say one of the item, which is known as capturing device. Capturing devices are also called input devices. So, video camera, video recorder, audio microphone, keyboards, mic, graphic tablets, 3-dimensional input devices, tactile sensors, etc. are capture devices or input devices. The next one is display devices. So, the compact disc quality speakers, HD television, SVGA monitors, HI monitors, color printers are various devices which are deployed for display or outputting. The computer devices like CD quality, like multimedia desktop machines, workstations, MPEG, DSP hardware, etc. are used. For a storage purpose, we use a storage system, and for that purpose we generally use hard disks, CD-ROM, DVD, pen drives, etc. And for transmitting the application or visualizing, we use communication network. And to establish or develop a communication network, we use hardware like Ethernet, token ring, FDDI, I mean fiber distributed data interface, ATM, asynchronous transfer mode, intranets, internets, etc. So, all these infrastructures are required to develop as well as to display the graphics or multimedia applications. Now, we should know how and what is the mode of multimedia applications functioning. That multimedia applications include many types of media, like just we have discussed text, image, audio, video and animation. As per nature, data of all these may be in variety of formats, and all data must be in the form of digital information. So, and majority of these data are large and in different media, and they need synchronization. The data have usually temporal, I mean pertaining to time, relationship as an integral property. So, media is time independent, like normal data, text, signal, image and graphics, whereas some are time dependent media like video, animation and audio. And around us there is full of analog signals. Various signals like transducers, thermocouples, temperature sensor, microphones, acoustic sensor convert the medium they sense into electrical signals. Analog, I mean continuous signals must be converted or digitized for computer processing. So, digital, which are discrete signals, are readily dealt with computer processing. So, we use a special hardware known as ADC, I mean analog to digital converter, for the purpose. On the screen you are visualizing a picture in which a person is saying something and the voice which are in analog signal are inserting in the ADC, and from ADC that becomes digital signal and going to the computer system. Both these signals are shown in the red color on the screen. So, with the ADC, these analog signals are converted to digital signals. Now, we move to next screen, in which after getting converted with the help of ADC, the computer transmit those signals for general public audience purpose, and from ADC it goes to DAC, which converts the digital to analog signal, and after getting converted into analog mode, it is received by the audience or a spectator. So, in the instant picture on the screen, we are watching how a digital signal going inside the DAC, digital to analog converter, converts into the analog signal and became ready to be audible or expectable. So, this is the way by which a analog signal is first converted to digital. Afterward, those digital signals with the help of computer system converted to analog signal and received by the user. So, collectively we may see it on the next screen, but prior to that we should also know that inside the computer system what main functions are does on the signals. So, in addition to conversion, various operations are also done inside the computer on the signals, like anti-aliasing. This is the method which filters the analog conditioning signals, the frequencies which are above the sampling limit, and that creates noises. So, those are eliminated, and the anti-aliasing filter at the output removes the aliases that result from the sampling. So, after anti-aliasing filter, the analog or digital converter quantizes the continuous input into discrete levels. After digital processing, the output of the system is given to a digital to analog converter, I mean DAC, converts the discrete levels into continuous voltage or currents. The output must also be filtered with a low pass filter to remove the aliases from the sampling. So, subsequent processing handles further filtering, mixing and other operations. So, on the screen you are seeing the complete processing. The person who is saying something with the help of microphone sends the signal to ADC, ADC converts the analog signal to digital signal, and those digital signals are received by the computer system, and inside the computer system signals are mixed, filtered, anti-aliased, and whatever the required implications are required, those are done. And after getting final, the digital signal moves towards DST, I mean digital to analog converter, and from there the digital signals converted to analog mode and receives by the speaker for use, so that an audience can hear or a spectator can see. So, this is the full concept of signal conversion. Now, we see that various types of modes are applied, and the converted files are stored in various formats. So, various file formats are available to store these multimedia files. SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics, is an XML based vector graphics format, which can be scaled without getting blurry or pixelated, is easy to edit and usually produce reasonably small files. SVG is preferred when creating diagrams, flags, etc. The another file format, that is PNG, Portable Network Graphics. PNG is a format which supports alpha transparency, meaning that the exact pixel color is preserved when saving and can be used for any kind of drawings, diagrams that is not available in SVG format. PNG is good for scanned images or print quality photographs and low color depth images. These generally include flags, graphics, icons and certain screenshots. The another which is prominent file format, which is known as JPEG, Joint Photographic Export Group, is appropriate for photographics. PNG is a lossless full color format. JPG is always a loosey format even at the highest quality settings. Lossless formats do not degrade after being saved repeatedly, but lossy ones do. A lossless version of the file allows the file to be tweaked for various purposes like cropping, level adjustment and so on without a loss in quality. The GIF format, that is graphic interchange format, is a lossless 8-bit color format with a maximum of 256 color support and are used mainly for animated images. TIFF, that is tagged image file format, generally serves a lossless format similar to PNG, but with much less comparison. TIF files can be displayed in resized, which is popularly known as, or we may say, thumbnail form 2. TIF files are not supported by most internet browsers. One more file format are in use, that is SCF, I mean experimental computing facility. SCF is very useful to upload the GIMP files so that others can continue working with it directly. In other formats, text and layer information are lost. Some sound file format are also used. The prominent one is MIDI, popularly known as, or the full form of MIDI is Musical Instrument Digital Interface. So, these are various file formats which we often use to store the multimedia contents files. Now, we know that multimedia is applicable in all walk of our life. So, I have categorized it in 3 classification like information system, remote representation and entertainment, and mostly it is used in entertainment like digital television, video on demand, widely distributed interactive games. So, you all were agreed with me that in entertainment multimedia are mostly used. The next one or the middle one, that is remote representation. In remote representation, multimedia is applications are used in conference applications, distance learning, which is the prominent example among you that we are giving you this with the distance learning mode, remote auction, remote robotic agents, virtual reality. So, these are the ways of remote representation of multimedia. applications, and one of prominent, rather vital, that is information system. Although I have placed it on the top of the classification on screen, but I am dealing it in last. Do you know why so? Since mostly we use multimedia applications in entertainment and then remote representation, and in last only we get help of it in information system. So, we use multimedia applications for electronic publishing, hospital information system, navigation and other allied information systems. So, these are the various classification of the multimedia applications. Now, the one of the component of multimedia is animation, which is newer one, whereas the text, image, sound or audio and video all are older in comparison of animations. So, we should know something more on the animations. First, we should know what is animation. Animation means giving life to any object in computer graphics or any graphics applications package. It has the power of injecting energy and emotions into the most seemingly inanimate objects. Computer assisted animation and computer generated animation are two categories of computer animation. It can be presented via film or video, and nowadays animation are being used in many areas like entertainment, computer aided design popularly known as CAD packages, scientific visualization, training education, electronic commerce and computer art. So, some of the techniques which are used in using animation in the multimedia applications. So, animation have invented and used a variety of different animation techniques. Basically, these are 6, like traditional animation to work in frame by frame, keyframing to lead the all frames, procedural and behavioral upon which we plan to animate the objects and their effects, performance based to capture motions, physical based to express dynamics, and morphing, which is used to mix, to club 2 with 1, and clubbing 2 as another object is called morphing in term of animation techniques. So, these are various techniques which are used in the animation work. Now, we use few principles in doing animation. So, following principles are developed by Walt Disney Studio by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston during the 1930s. So, let us consider one by one. The first one among them is a squash and a stretch. This action gives the illusion of weight and volume to a character as it moves. A squash and a stretch is useful in animating dialogue and doing facial expression. Anticipation, the another one, this prepares the audience for a major action the character is about to perform, such as starting to run, jump or change expression. Let us remember that a dancer does not just leap off the floor, rather some sound, some music starts prior to that, that comes under the purview of anticipation. Stagging. Stagging directs the audience attention to the story or idea being told. Care must be taken in background design so that it not obscuring the animation. Another one is a straight ahead and pose to pose animation. A start ahead animation at the first drawings and works drawings to the end of the scene. We can lose size, volume and proportions with this method, but it does have a spontaneity and freshness. Fast wild action scenes are done in this way. Pose to pose is more planned out and charted with key drawings done at intervals throughout the scene. Size, volumes and proportions are controlled better this way, as is the action. The next one is follow through and overlapping action. When the main body of the character stops, all other parts continue to catch up to the main mass of the character, such as arms, long hair, clothing, coat, rails or dress, floppy ears or a long tail. Students, you all have learnt that principles of inertia in physics. This is nothing else. Rather, we are trying to satisfy the inertia rule, and to satisfy the inertia rule, we do the overlapping action. So, overlapping action is the action that character changes direction while his clothes or hair continues in the previous direction. The character started a new direction to be followed a number of frames later, and by his clothes in the or the hairs in the new direction. The next one is slow out and slow in. As action starts, we have more drawings near the starting pose, one or two in the middle and more drawings near the next pose. Fewer drawings make the action faster and more drawings make the action slower. Slow ins and slow outs soften the action, making it more life-like. Arcs. As we know, for trajectory motion, we use arcs. So, all actions with few exceptions like animation and mechanical devices follow an arc or slightly circular path. This is especially true for the human figure and action of animals. Arc give animation a more natural action and better flow. You often observe that whenever an animal leaps and he is leaping forward is in the way of arc. Secondary action, this action adds to and enriches the main action and adds more dimension to the character animation, supporting or reinforcing the main action. A character is angrily walking toward another character. The walk is forceful, aggressive and forward leaning. the leg action is just sort of stomping walk, लड़खड़ाते हुए चलता है। तो इसके लिए हम लोग सेकेंडरी एक्शन को कंसीडर करते हैं। So the secondary action is a few strong gestures of the arms working with the walk, and although it is timing and the most important whenever we have to mix the action with sound, the timing is most vital, not only vital, rather most vital. Expertise in timing comes best with experience and personal experimentation. Using the trial and error method in refining technique, the basics are more drawing between poses, slow and smooth the action. Fewer drawings make the action faster and crisper. A variety of slow and fast timing within a scene adds texture and interest in the movement. Exaggeration. As we know that exaggeration means something more. So exaggeration is not extreme distortion of a drawing or extremely broad, violent action all the time. Rather, it is like a caricature of facial features, expressions, poses, attitudes and actions. The solid drawing. The basic principle of drawing: form, weight, volume, solidity and the illusion of 3 dimension applied to animation as it does to academic drawings. And in last, all these should be appealing to the spectator, I mean viewer. So appeal, it is also one of the consideration. A live performer has charisma, an animated character has appeal. Appealing animation does not mean just being cute and cuddly, rather all character must be appealing, whether they are heroic, villainous, comics or cute characters. So appeal includes an easy to read design, clear drawing and personality development that will capture and involve the audience or spectators' interest. So these are various principles which we consider during preparing the doing work in animation. As we know, to perform something, some problems often occurs. Likewise, animations have also problems. The principal difficulty is the animator's drawings are that 2-dimensional projections of 3-dimensional characters as visualized in the animator's head. Hence, information is lost. That is, a leg obscure another. एक पैर के पीछे दूसरा पैर छिप जाता है. Character animation is a continuum, and extreme of such continuum becomes very sensitive. At the low end, the action is very simple. Movement is more indicated than actually performed. There is a lot of repeat animation, cycles, sound effects to indicate action, etc. Actually, it is hard to imagine how it could be made much simpler even with a computer. The another problem not generally recognized is that a production animation system requires the management of hundreds of thousands of drawings. Hence, database management techniques are not normally found in experimental animation system, and you may consider this problem, that whenever we have to manage more than 4 or 5 databases, how we perplexed. And you may imagine that whenever it is required to manage hundreds of thousands of databases, how the animator will feel. So this is all about the animation and multimedia applications. So thanks.